We're already recording. I think we're live on Facebook. Let me
Nice.
go double check. You know how this goes. Yes, we're there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first live in the Real Estate Content and Marketing Strategies Facebook group. So we're excited about this. We have like the greatest guest ever to talk about something that is extremely pulverizing lately, right? Is Realtor.com, RDC leads, the whole face of what they're doing is changing. And before I go any further, I want to say this to everybody listening. It doesn't matter if you do or don't buy Realtor.com leads. If you do, you already know about this and you're probably half crapping your pants. If you don't know about this or you need to listen, and if you don't buy Realtor.com, this affects the industry. This is going to have an impact on the industry. So take a listen. I'm going to ask Tristan a bunch of questions as if you don't know about it. Carrying on from the live that Tristan did with 4 or 5 other geniuses on Facebook on Lab Coat Agents 2 nights ago, which was absolutely amazing. If you haven't watched it, you should. So if you don't know who Tristan is, welcome Tristan Ahumada with Lab Coat Agents to this interview. What's up, buddy?
Thanks, man. Happy to be here. All right, let's get going.
So,
ask me the questions.
So break it down for us. What the hell just happened with Realtor.com leads that has turned a lot of agents upside down and has got them panicking?
So Realtor.com about 5 years ago, let me see, maybe 5.5, 6 years ago, came out with a product that they called Broker Connections, where they would sell you a specific zip code and they would promise you a certain amount of leads for that zip code, and you would pay for that, and then you would get the leads, you'd call them, you convert them, and then you can close them. Good quality leads. You know, don't take that away from Realtor.com. Very similar to Zillow. Now the challenge is they bought OpCity, a company that really is a group of ISAs that is there to follow up with the leads that come through, the online leads, and then try to convert them over and send them to you. And that they were doing that for a referral fee. Now, when they bought OpCity, the idea was to convert over these leads that Realtor.com has been pushing through and now sending them to OpCity. Because what was happening is OpCity was purchasing a crap ton of leads from Realtor.com already before they were even purchased. So they were already testing this out even before they announced the purchase was happening. So they're like, wow, this is working really well. You know, maybe we should pick up OpCity because they're already converting these leads at a high level. They would kind of just match with us. And now, in essence, we can compete with Zillow, right, with the Zillow Whole Premier agent, and they're calling with their ISAs. And so they said, you know what, let's pull the trigger, let's do it. They've got the similar culture as us, really something we need. They bought them, and now they're like, well, they're doing such a great job. Maybe we can take a piece of the commission instead of relying on agents here and there to buy the zip codes, then not do anything with them, and then send them back, and we have to go to collections. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a plan for these leads, they're not going to be working. So you get a lot of agents saying these leads suck, but the high-performing teams are doing really well with them. And so that's where Realtor.com said, well, damn, a lot of these people are closing at 6, 7, 8% conversion on our leads. What if we can increase that through OpCity from what they've already done and take a referral fee instead of charging per zip code per agent? So now what they did is now in certain areas of the country, they're testing this out. And like you and I know, a few of our friends have talked to us and said, look, the Realtor.com called them, and now they're going to be converting their current structure for receiving these leads to receiving them through OpCity for a referral fee of 35%. No options. That is the only option, which kind of sucks, right? It'd be nice if they said, Jeff, we're switching, but we're going to give you an option. You can continue to do what we're doing over here, right? Which you've been doing for 5 years, 6 years, however long you've had the product. And we appreciate your business and thank you. right? So we're going to give you the option. Continue to do what you're doing, or you want to come in over here, use OpCity. They're doing great for us, and you can take a 35% referral fee. We can take a 35% referral fee for giving you the lead, and we won't charge you anything for the lead. So you pick, but they didn't do that. They kind of said, screw you, agents. We're just going to take 35% and have fun.
Yeah.
It's really them strong-arming the industry. And that's the part that's not good to me, man.
So let's talk about that real quick, if you don't mind me cutting you off. So again, to recap for anybody who's jumping on now, we're talking about how Realtor.com has completely basically just changed their model, and they're flipping it upside down on their agents. So any agent, and we have a bunch of friends, we know a lot of agents that their model is built around buying leads through Realtor.com, right? And so they've hired their own ISAs, they have agent teams that are managing the leads, and now all of a sudden they purchased OpCity, which is a company who basically is the internal ISA service now, right, for Realtor.com. And they're going to be now, they're going to be nurturing the leads and then essentially selling them to real estate agents for a 35% referral fee. So if you, the agent, were buying a lead, you now could do your own thing, right? You could set up your own system, your own team. Now they're basically saying, you don't need your ISA. You may not even need a bunch of your agents, because we're going to do all of that and we're going to charge you 35%. So it flips this thing upside down. And so it either eliminates a bunch of the team members or it eliminates team leaders. And this is what I wanted to bring up real quick is that you guys talked about this the other night, was that nobody saw this coming. Everybody thought Realtor.com. So everybody sees what Zillow is doing. They're like becoming a brokerage, right? But everybody thought Realtor.com was going to continue to sell leads, and they were going to be the good guy, and they were going to be for the agents. And then all of a sudden this happened. And that's why, whether you buy Realtor.com leads or not, you need to pay attention to this, because this is going to have an impact. Because if Realtor.com is now getting in on the action like Zillow is, holy crap. If you're a real estate agent, you better start thinking about what the hell the future of real estate looks like, right?
Yeah, I think what happened is both of the companies, Realtor.com and Zillow, are now shifting, and they want to take a percentage of the transaction, right? And but what better way to do it than using their own leads, right? The leads that they've been selling to us that they say are already good, and they are good. I cut off there for a second.
You're fine.
They are good, but now they realize that instead of selling it to us, they can make more money. And you have to look at these two companies, that one of them's owned by News Corp, right? The Wall Street Journal, which is a huge company.
That's Realtor.com.
Yeah. And the other one is just a beast of its own, but they're both publicly traded companies. And at the end of the day, they have to report back and say, hey, we made this much money this quarter, right? And in Wall Street, it's all about perception. You could have a company that's not making money but has an awesome perception, like Tesla, right? And their stock just keeps on going up. The challenge is with a company like Realtor.com and Zillow, if they report something that people don't really necessarily agree with, then all of a sudden their stock goes down. But something like this, where you're taking a piece, 35% off of a realtor's check, and then you calculate and you see, wow, you know what? If this works, and OpCity does an even better job than most realtors at converting, all of a sudden, these companies are making a lot more money. And what's to stop them, Jeff? If OpCity gets really good at this, which they may get even better at converting, what happens if Realtor.com says, well, you know what? We've gotten so good, our conversion rates are up to 10% or 12, imagine that, 12% or even a little higher. You're going to give me 40, 45% or even 50%.
What's going to stop them from going as high as they need to go, as high as they want to go?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Because in our industry, it's already normal for us to get referrals from a relocation company. From, let's say, like in my area, I have the largest pharmaceutical in the world. It's Amgen. Amgen's the largest pharmaceutical throughout the whole world. And when we get a referral from them, they expect to get paid 40%. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because it's been happening for years. And the leads that they're giving me are solid, right? So what's to say that Realtor.com and Zillow won't do that and then increase it to 50%? And then does that make sense for me who's running a team
Right.
to have a team member that I'm already splitting this 50% with, and then they're getting 50% of that? That doesn't make sense. Why
Yep.
not just go directly to Realtor.com and Zillow? So what's happening is what they're doing is they're becoming a team, right? They're not becoming a brokerage. They're becoming teams, because what's going to happen later as they progress and get better, they're going to start picking up, teaming up with a mortgage company if they don't want to own one already, a title company, escrow company, credit repair. And all of a sudden, they're taking a piece off of everything that involves purchasing real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're making some serious money because they're taking a piece of everything involved.
They have all the control at that point.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I didn't originally see this coming with Realtor.com. We saw it with Zillow, right? But with Realtor.com, man, I used to speak nationwide for them, and I was one of the first people to introduce how to work these zip code leads. So I was telling people, hey guys, you need ISAs to nurture, automated text. I introduced a lot of the verbiage, dude. Nudge text. I introduced Realtor.com to 5 Street. Then they bought 5 Street because of me. So, I was paving the way for them. And now I feel like, well, dude, I introduced all these agents to these zip code leads. Who the hell knew they were going to turn around and screw us like this? So a lot of the models that they have and that they teach came from me, which is nuts. So, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I have a solution. So I haven't been using Realtor.com and Zillow for 2.5 years. But remember, they still have great leads, right? They're just doing this thing that's shifting the way that they're doing business with the real estate world. And what we're doing now is we've shifted too. We're focusing more on giving back that power to us, where we don't have to rely on companies like that. Like, we have a great relationship with Facebook, and the times we've gone to their campus and talked to them, they're a marketing platform, and like Google, right? They're not interested in getting into the real estate world. That's just not where they make their money. They make their money from marketing, from people like you and I and other verticals going in there, paying money, creating ads, and using it as a marketing platform, right? And that gives power back to you and me, right? That's like a newspaper, right? Where you go and buy an ad space, and then you go and throw it out there, and then hopefully you get a return back.
Right.
So same way, man. Same way.
So correct me if I'm wrong in saying this and trying to dumb this down or speak it to my terms, is that the way we're going with them now basically controlling the lead is that and then charging 35% it's literally cutting out the team concept around buying their leads, because there's just not going to be enough skin in the game for multiple people to make money. So it's almost like it's going to shift to an individual or a single agent only lead platform rather than a team platform like it's been with Zillow. I mean, there's a lot of agents we know, even in our market, which we're a small market, that have just exploded teams because of the amount of Zillow leads they bought or the amount of Realtor.com leads they bought, and now they're going to get pinched big time.
Well, it's a blessing in disguise, man. Most of the people purchasing Realtor.com leads and Zillow leads that solely rely on their business coming from these two together, or one or the other, remember, solely or majority. What happens is you look at their bottom line and it's not big, because you're continually having to invest and invest and invest. And the return some days is great and some days is not. The challenge happens here. The lead agent may be amazing at converting. But what happens as they start growing and their team members come in, their team members aren't that great at converting. And so that's where they start to suffer. And so when you look at their bottom line, their net, it's not that big. But when you shift over and you say, hey, why don't we start looking at other traditional ways of doing business mixed with some new technology through automation and the systems that we're able to use now, because we're much more advanced than we were 10 years ago with tech, which is a blessing to us. Now we can start growing our business and having a bigger net. So with what Realtor.com and Zillow are doing, you have companies, and you know what, as much as some people don't like, I'm Keller Williams, but as much as some people don't like EXP, what EXP started doing is it started shifting when it came out and gathered momentum. It started shifting the way that the head of brokerages were thinking. And at one point, they almost were comfortable, right? And then here comes EXP, and they're like, "Whoa, hey, let's do something new. Let's try this over here. Let's try this over here." And companies started losing people to EXP, right? And they made a big enough noise for companies like Keller Williams to shift and say, "Hey guys, this is what we're going to do." Gary even said some negative things about EXP on stage. But the thing is, they shifted, right? And they hurried up and shifted. Even if that shift was coming before from Gary and Keller Williams, it hurried up and shifted them faster. So they said, "Hey guys, we're a tech company now," right? What happened right after that? So it started with EXP. Then you have Keller Williams. Then you have C21 say they're a tech company. Then you start seeing Remax purchase a company. Then you start Reology. You just saw Reology, what they did. They just made a deal with Facebook and came out with a great product, simple product, but really impactful for agents to be able to market on Facebook. And then you have Berkshire Hathaway now. So what happened is a little company out of nowhere shifted enough, made enough noise, and started progressively tipping those dominoes over for brokerages to snap out of the places they were. It's like,
Sure.
Shit, let's do something.
Sure.
So the good thing is that's shifting that power over back to the brokerage. Now, whether or not it's too late, I don't know. I don't know if it is, but the way that Keller Williams is focusing on technology a lot more, it's a good thing to see for the industry. So not just for KW. So when you see brokerages shift and brokerages focus more on tech for the agent, you should be rooting for those brokerages because they're for us. That's who's going to strengthen our industry and change it for the better.
Well, that's
not
what
companies like Zillow.
That's what caused all this, though, essentially, is that because the brokerages and the MLSs allowed their listings to be marketed on the Zillows and the Realtor.coms, now they've basically snatched that power away from the realtor, industry, from the real estate industry as a result of that. So let's give a little advice from your professional perspective. We all know you. You're obviously in a very influential position. You're an influential person. Where should so if an agent is sitting here right now saying, screw Zillow, screw Realtor.com, and by the way, there's two trains of thought on this, and I'm not saying that because there is a train of thought that makes this shift make sense for some because you don't have to buy the leads. You're only paying when it closes, right? So there is a cup half full side of this, but for those that are traditionally into buying leads and creating their own opportunities, where should that agent shift? If they're going to shift away from Zillow, if they're going to shift away from Realtor.com, we talked about Facebook lead. That's an obvious one, right? Where are some other places that an agent can shift their business to?
Well, I think if you're shifting off of Realtor.com and Zillow, if you've decided, hey, look, those two companies aren't for me, I don't like the way that they're working, I think you should really focus on being a niche, what we call, Jeff, you and I, a niche celebrity, right? You want to find a niche. I don't know who says this all the time. It just rhymes, but the riches are in the niches, right?
Sharon says that.
Oh, is that who says it? Okay, Sharon says that. So let's give props to Sharon, super smart guy. The way that you're going to win this game is focusing in a small area that you know better, that you can market to better, that you have more information about because you live there or you work there every day. Now, a Zillow and a Realtor.com can't take that away from you. But once you start thinking that you can cover all these areas, that's where you start failing, right? I'm going to go back to when I created Lab Coat Agents. Right? There was one thing I was really good at the time. Now I'm probably good at two things, which hasn't changed much. But one thing that I was really good at, and Realtor.com at the time noticed it, and that was online lead conversion. Specifically, Realtor.com online lead conversion. Right? It was because of the follow-up sequence, the tools I put in place, the automation back then, and the long-time nurture. Right? That's all I was good at that time. But that was good enough. And so that's what I started Lab Coats with. And I started telling people how to automate, how to really process the leads. And so in the same way, when you're looking at your real estate world, what are you really, really, really good at? Stop focusing on the shit that you're not good at. Why don't you focus on what you're really, really good at? Are you really good at building these relationships with the community? Are you really great at open houses? Are you really good at door knocking? What you do is you look at what you're already good at and see what technology you can bring in that can really help you grow that part of your business. And I'd look at, let's say, Jeff, you're really good at doing open houses, right? But you're not so good at following up. So I'd say, Jeff, let's create a sequence for you where you plan out the whole year, where you're going to have your open houses. Try to have it in a niche area. You like this city, this small town, then let's focus only in this town. Open houses. Call up the real estate agents that have open houses there that haven't sold. Next, you're planning out a week ahead. Make sure you go door knock around there. You have enough signs to post all around. You post up on Facebook, create an event, right? Then after you have all these people click on the event that they want to attend your open house. Then what you can do is you can segregate that on the back end of Facebook, create a custom audience and retarget them to following open houses. Now you create this big list, right? Now you're using Facebook tech to retarget all these people and invite them to open houses all the time. And you're creating ads as well to invite people to open houses. But Tristan, I suck at follow-up. Great. Use Agent Legend, create a sequence that automates the follow-up for you. Now you can just focus on open houses. You can have a virtual assistant or your admin or somebody you're paying $10 to upload that picture that you just took of everybody that visited your open house and upload into Agent Legend and automatically start sequencing those drips. Text, voicemail, email. You start thinking very niche oriented. You start using the tech that's already out there to help you, and you're going to grow in one area. That's the key.
I think to summarize what Tristan just said is that if again, in my opinion, you need to be diversified. If you put all your eggs in one basket, if you put all your eggs in Realtor.com's basket, your basket just got dumped over, and you're in trouble. If you're diversified and you invest in some Realtor.com leads and some Zillow leads and some Facebook leads, and then you focus on open houses or calling expireds or door knocking or whatever it is, and you're diversified, this isn't going to be necessarily a threat to you. You just got to shift a little bit and maybe reallocate those dollars somewhere else. But I think what Tristan's also saying is you need to. What he just explained is going to go right over the head of 85% of agents probably when you start talking about those sequences, when you start talking about automation, when you start talking about retargeting. But here's what's important to understand. You need to start investing in yourself and learning this stuff. There's a ton of education out there. There's a ton of great masterminds. There's a ton of really smart people that you can surround yourself, and that's what you need to be doing. And then the last point is you need to grow your online presence. You need to grow your social media presence. You need to have you need to invest your time and your energy into growing your influence, your authority on Facebook, on IG, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on focus on one. But once you get that down and you've got it going, it's easy to repurpose to the other social media places. We all do it. We all do it very well because we spent, I've invested 2 years busting my ass to build my influence on Facebook because that's what it takes. It takes a good year or two to really put out a ton of content and build your influence, and it's still a work in progress. Tristan's done it at the highest level with lab coat agents. But look what he's doing now. It creates so much leverage for his business. You can't even put it into words. And I'm not saying anybody's going to get there, that you're going to build a group of 90,000 plus people like Tristan has. But if you have a group of 500, that's 500 raving fans who follow you because you put out consistent content, who are going to refer you, who are going to use you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you focus on your community.
Yeah.
And then remember, you want to be the niche celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a community there, you build it. Let's just say there's like 3,000 homes in the track. You start with your track, you build a Facebook group just for that community, and then you expand it from there. But the point is for everybody there to know you, right? So now you're targeting them on Facebook, you're doing Facebook Lives, you're interviewing the coffee shop. Like there's a coffee shop behind me here that I go to.
Phone's ringing again. You're muted. You're muted. Headphones died. Well, I'll just keep talking. And by the way, since you can't hear Tristan right now, he's in Malibu wearing a cap. No, you're dead. That's all right. We can end this. We can end it. It's all right. So I think we've heard it. I think we've heard plenty. I think you understand the whole point and how this impacts you. If you got in late, go back and listen later. Go rewatch this. It'll be on our Facebook page. Don't worry about it, Tristan. We're fine. We're fine. I'll go ahead and end this. We've already gone over time. So go back, listen, understand how this impacts your business, understand how Realtor.com and Zillow are shifting their business models to take more of your money, and how you need to shift and you need to constantly evolve your business plan in order to stay successful, in order to stay relevant. And you can do that in a variety of ways that we've discussed today. So thanks for being on. Tristan, don't worry about it, brother. All good. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you for watching. And we will continue to bring you this kind of content on a regular basis.